Just a quick plug before the video starts. Go to Durianrider.com if you're interested in $40 jerseys. There's a couple left. They did sell out. I apologize for that. We've got more coming down the track. My 2 ebooks, Carb the Fuck Up and Durianriders Lean Body Bible. The best ebooks if you want to get seriously lean and live a seriously simple, basic digital nomad lifestyle and save a shit ton of money, earn great money, meet cool people, inspire people, and getting the best results you've ever could imagine in your life. Go to Durianrider.com, get my latest ebooks. Game changers. Guaranteed. Okay, we have a question here. High fat or high carb for ultra marathon. We know that the world's fastest runners all eat high carbohydrate diet. The sprinters, the Usain Bolt banana diets, the plantains, the Johan Blake 30 bananas a day, 20 bananas a day. Remember the Adidas advert a few years back at the London Olympics? Johan Blake, I eat 20 bananas a day for potassium. And you can tell he felt a bit weird saying that because people are like, that's a lot of bananas, even though it really works because your body runs on sugar and your potassium's good for your legs, good for keeping lean, flush out the excess sodium from this diet where most people eat high sodium. Anyway, there's conflicting information. This is a question here. Person's asking. Some say to eat high fat as your body is using fat as its main source of energy in an ultra marathon. Ultra marathon, you're going pretty slow, pretty casual, long distance. Others say to eat carbs. My understanding is your body can't use fat as a ready supply source of energy and can only store it, whereas carbs are instant. Correct. So if you eat fat, it takes days really to metabolize and process and get stored. So if you're trying to get usable fuel in an ultra marathon, and these people say eat fat, wouldn't it make sense just to not eat at all because you got body stored fat? Why eat fat when you're trying to burn fat? Doesn't make any sense. Why use fuel if you got stored fuel already? That using their logic, the people out there who say high fat's where it's at, then why not just have water and electrolytes? If your body's meant to run on fat, then why even eat? Why not be breatharian? Because most of us have enough fat stores. I'm not saying we should be breatharian or should run on fat. I'm just saying that those people out there say your body goes better on fat, then why even eat? Why not just run? Just run for days on end of water. I do that, mate. And my bubba in India he runs a marathon in 1 hour 30. He does. He runs a marathon in 1 hour 30, and he just eats on a fat. He's breatharian. He transmutates his body from the finish to the start line, and vice versa. So he goes so fast you can't even see it. Runs a marathon in 10 minutes in a car. But there's people out there fucking believe anything, isn't it? Some of the shit I read on running.com. Come on. Anyway, so some say that when you do ultras, your body is in ketosis as you are in the fat burning zone for hours, that you should only consume high fat foods. Again, it doesn't make any sense because it takes days or even hours for that fat to get stored and use as fuel. Your body can't just use it straight away. And let's say it could do that, then you're not using the body fat you've already got. So it's like say you own a bike shop and you want to get rid of all these cleats, all these little, fatty cleats. Why bring more into the shop when you want to get rid of this? Why, if you want to lose body fat and get really fucking lean like me or elite marathoners, why would you add more fat in when you can just burn off your body? It doesn't make any sense, You have fat excess and you got extra weight carrying around. So for me, it makes no sense to eat excess dietary fat. You'll get enough fat in your food. Bananas have saturated fat. You'll get enough fat in your food, and your body can make saturated fat if it needs it. All right, so basically it's carbs, or would you recommend carbs or fat for the? This is a real easy one. I'm a marathon runner myself, but I'm more of a cyclist, so I do the 10-hour, 24-hour. 1 month time trials, 6,500 Ks in a month, so just riding across Australia, stuff like that. So I understand the ultra endurance world. I'm not one of these dietitians or nutritionists out there who read a book and run a 5K and think they're gurus. This is the stuff that I've actually applied to myself, and I've coached thousands of people over the last 20 years. High carbohydrate is the only thing that works. Nothing works as good as high carb. Nothing works. It's like EPO. Carbs is like EPO. Nothing compares. It's like EPO blood doping, oxygen vector doping. That's carbohydrate. Nothing compares. These keto people out there saying that you should eat fat for fuel in an ultra marathon. Great, you do that and finish dead last at the back of the pack. And hey, that's fine. If you're out there running, you're still lapping everyone on the sofa. Good on you. But for me, I've tried those things out and you feel like shit. For me, I feel this is just me. This is just my little pretentious self talking. I feel embarrassed when I'm getting passed by my friend's grandma or mother or something like that. You know what I mean? That happened to me one time. You know, on a bike ride, I didn't bring enough food, and I ran out of fuel, and I was just, did a 200k ride that day, and I was just totally cooked. And I got passed by a friend's mum who was on a hybrid bike down to Victor Harbour, and she passed me. She's like, I passed your friend, a vegan guy. And that was embarrassing, That was embarrassing. Because, it just was. I'm this, fit dude getting dropped up a hill by a friend's mum who's pretty fit, And it was embarrassing that, I got this wanky bike and this Lycra and shit, and she wasn't even, it was embarrassing that I would be so undercut. Another time, this guy beat me up Mount Lofty, This dude who was about 60 and on a heavy bike and flogged me in the last bit of Mount Lofty because I'd just done 250k loop or whatever, and I was going up Norton Summit, and I just bonked, ran out of carbohydrates, and he beat me. And so I came back next week for the bunch ride and just made an extra effort to be carbed up and just totally flogged everyone. Just to let them know that it was a one-off. I was just undercarbed. It'll never ever happen again. That's the ego there. But it's just proof that it doesn't matter how fit you are. It doesn't matter if you're Lance Armstrong on a shit ton of drugs or any pro on a shit ton of drugs, Kipper J, etc. It doesn't matter who you are, what drugs you're on, how fit you are. If you don't have enough carbohydrate, your performance is dropping massively. So I recommend people do the experiment yourself. Maybe bring a friend in case you collapse and faint during ketosis, or you come to a road crossing and you're so out of it you can't even see, and you walk out in front of a car and get hit. It's good to have a carved up friend to come along with you, maybe on a bike, and just to be your safety person, and make sure you wear a bright vest so people can see you if you need rescuing. Because just do the experiment. And people say, I saw this documentary on YouTube, Vice Munchies, where you had what's his name, John Olsen or Timothy Olsen or whatever, claiming he runs in keto. Yet you watch the race, he's drinking Coke. Excuse me, people, Coke isn't keto. Coke ain't low carb. Mountain Dew ain't low carb. It's real Coke. It's not the fucking sugar-free shit. It's the real shit. Sushi rolls with rice isn't keto. It's being sponsored by First Endurance Gel Company isn't keto. It's like Chris Froome. Someone said, Chris Froome does keto. He's got a picture of eggs and avocado, and there's a gel there. It's like a cherry-flavored sugar gel there. And people say, that would flip you out of ketosis like that. So these people out there on the internet, talk to them. They're always people at the back of the pack. And then talk to the winners. Talk to the Kenyans. I've trained with Kenyans in Thailand, and I've watched them eat. And I've walked up to them. They didn't know who the fuck I was. Didn't have walked in there full undercover. Just want to sit down, have lunch with them, stuff like that. They didn't know I was some crazy vegan dude on YouTube. They had no idea who I was. And I sat down with them, and they're eating their corn ugali, pouring sugar into their tea. And that's where I learned the sugar thing from. And also Dr. Ferrari. But I witnessed it firsthand with the Kenyans in Thailand, Bangkok, back in 2011. And then in my marathon, I'd run with sugar in my little bottles, and I started PRing. I ran a 2:47 marathon on 10 miles a week running. Carbohydrates for the win. And so that's just the reality here. Where's that sugar gone? It's gone. Carbohydrate that's the only thing that's going to work best. Now, you can go for okay, you can go for I'm going to finish in ketosis and never want to run again and hate my life the whole time and run on 100 milligrams of caffeine every 10 minutes or whatever these low-carb people take. The amount of stimulants and painkillers these ultra runners take who try and do ketosis, and they're so slow. Again, it's better to be out there than not be out there. So I'm not saying that just because you're slow and in ketosis that you're a bad runner. No. It might be a bad performance if we're comparing it to the, whatever. But there's always someone faster than us. There's always someone slower than us in any event, or any year, any day. So it's not about the total performance of who's the fastest. But if your goal is speed, then carb up. If your goal is weight loss, carb up. Now, I could be wrong, correct if I'm wrong. Most runners, they like, just being lean. They like to see a bit of sinew, a bit of striations. They like, like feeling the abs and people like it, Runners. I've never met a runner who goes, I'm running to gain weight. I want to be really bulky and swollen
hobble down the street. I've never met a runner who ever said that. I've met runners who I want to be like a gazelle and it fucking feels good to run fast. You're fast. It feels good just flying over the tarmac or the trails. It feels very good. It's like cycling. And so most of us are out there training and stuff and eating well because we enjoy being lean. I enjoy being lean. It's good for my joints. It's good for my health. I like it. My pants fit, and I can do things that I can do that I couldn't do if I was obese or overweight. So I like looking down and being able to see my nutsack. Call me biased, but I just like doing that. And a high carb diet is the lifestyle, I should say, is the best way to do that. Because people get caught up in diet. No, I'm just doing this as a diet for lose weight. I mean, it's got to be lifestyle. I'm vegan because it just makes sense. When I go for a run, I don't want to go and fucking run down a possum and bite into it. I don't want to jump in the back of a horse and start biting its neck. I don't want to push a cow over and start sucking on its nipples and eating it or whatever. Like, it's just, it does make sense. But fruit trees, wild rice or rice, plants. I like eating plants for sure. Call me a cereal killer. I kill cereal. But, it just makes sense. So there's that whole ethics thing. There's a whole performance thing. There's the whole weight loss thing. There's the whole health thing. There's just the smell thing, the digestion thing. There's just everything points towards high carb, low fat, vegan. All the world's best runners in the world are all high carb, low fat. And a lot of them, especially Keepo J, etc., they play with vegan stuff, no meat, no milk, a few weeks before their race, maybe lean out a little bit or just have better breathing. They all do it. Talk to the people, right? Get in the scene, read some of the reviews. None of them are like wearing vegan shirts because sponsors don't like that. And I think none of them really give a fuck about ethics. They're like, what drug is going to take? How do I win much money? And I can retire and disappear. Have financial security in Russia or Kenya or Australia, wherever. So that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about how I run for fun. They run to eat, to avoid dying from starvation. So when people are doing that sort of the drugs they do, when they start going vegan or eating vegan meals on Instagram or stuff like that, that something's up. When they're doing sugar drips, IV sugar drips before marathons, there's something up. Now imagine if the Kenyans, prize money was in the ultra scene, the Kenyans would just clean it up. They would clean it up, mate. They would clean up every single... If you put a $20,000 or $50,000 prize money on all those ultra races, the Kenyans and the Ugandans and the Ethiopians would flog it. And they'd be eating their ugali and their teff and their rice and their bananas and their... What's that banana dish they eat in Uganda? They cook up the bananas, uboki or bukaki or something like that. I think it's bukaki. And so it's just... They eat these high carbohydrate things, and it's just how it is. So, but anyway, do the experiment. If you're an ultra runner, then great. Go and do, let's say you're going to do a 100-mile ultra. Go and do a 50-mile ultra, with someone who understands, what you're going to do. Maybe a cyclist friend, a runner friend. Go and tag up with someone and say, look, I'm going to do low carb today, no carb today. All I'm going to have is coconut oil. Well, actually, I'm not even going to eat because I can just use stored body fat, just like the gurus say. And I'm just going to run on water and maybe some electrolyte powder. And I'm going to see what happens, see how it feels, etc. Don't take any stimulants. Don't take any stims. Don't take any painkillers. Feel how your body works. As soon as you take stimulants or painkillers, you're in la-la land. And you're like, this is all right, maybe. I don't know. No stims, no painkillers. You're masking the body's telltale signs, in other words. Let me just cough a little bit. So, no stims, no painkillers. If you're going to use those things for race day, fair enough, get used to them. But you should never use those when you're doing diets experiments. Cut them all out so you can really feel what's going on. All right? And then do your high carb experiment. Go do a run of high carb. Do that. No stims, no painkillers. Just keep it even. Really feel the body. Feel how it works over the 5, 6, 7 hours. And for the high carb experiment, take in 100 grams of sugar water per hour. Just have 100 grams, actually, let's say 1 gram of carb per kilo body weight. Maximum 100 kilos, 100 grams, because most people on a kilo aren't doing ultras. So between 50 and 100 grams per hour, you're going to be taking in of sugar, just sugar and water. You could do like do a lap circuit, right? Here we go, do a lap circuit around the block. That way it's safe. That way if you do collapse, when you collapse in your low carb thing, that people can bring you home and look after you. Just do a lap of your block, a 1 mile block, and just see how many laps you can do. on your ketosis or your high carb, and then just compare the results. And if you're like me and 7 billion humans, and you understand the Krebs cycle and the phosphate system and the ATP and all this glucose-derived stuff, glucose-induced phagocytosis and all these Krebs cycle-related things, then you understand that carbs is where it's at. And then you go, wow, no wonder the Kenyans eat their rice, their corn, their bananas, and their fruits. And I repeat myself again and again and again. I've made over 5,000 videos talking about benefit carbohydrate. So that is just how it is. And let's say you go, I don't even want to run a marathon. Why are you watching this video? Especially 40 minutes in. Maybe you just want to listen to the crazy Aussie guy. Here's another thing. I don't train much, all right? And I'm pretty lazy. I like sitting down. I like being on the internet. I like creating content. I like talking to people. I'm not really much of a trainer. I've done, what I want to do athletically, stuff like that. I am training up for a marathon at the moment. So I'm trying to see how little Ks I can do to run my PR, beat my PR of 247, which was also done on bare bones training. And by eating this high carb, low fat way, it makes my body weight stay very, very lean. So I don't have excess weight to do junk miles and try and burn off. So I'm at race weight every day of the year pretty much. And sure, I might get a little bit lighter a few weeks before the marathon from the training, maybe, who knows. But, I see so many runners out there, they're going to do 100 Ks and 200 Ks a week just to burn off all the cheese and the dairy and the fat they're eating, And so you really want to look after your health. You want to look after your thyroid. And if you're talking about weight, you got to understand some medications cause weight gain. The pill, antidepressant medications, prednisone, some corticosteroids will cause weight gain. All right, so you might be doing all the training and eating well, but you're storing excess weight because your medications, So that's up to you to do homework and go, wow, is this medication a side effect weight gain? Wow. Because I've met plenty of people on antidepressant drugs who can never get lean, no matter how much they train or how clean they eat, how low fat they eat, is because their medications prevent them from being lean. So you got to make your own decisions there on what you're going to do with that. But anyway, so to do the experiment, just test ride then decide. Test ride then decide. So when people go, oh, what's Adelaide like to live? Come here and live here in the eastern suburbs. And you're like, wow, this is pretty fucking rad. So there you go. That is the deal. I think this computer's glitching up. Hopefully it's recorded. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe the computer ran out of carbs. Carbs for the win. If the Kenyans, who has prize money in ultras, the Kenyans would come and flock it all. They'd smash it, mate. They would smash all these pseudo ketosis, low carb, Timmy Olsen, first endurance, chugging back gel, keto athletes. They would smoke every single one of them. I even said to Tim Olsen, $50,000 prize purse, come and race me or another high carb vegan dude. I'll just get a Kenyan. I'll just get a Kenyan on fucking corn and rice. Come and race me with a Kenyan. And if you can beat him in ketosis, we'll see what's going on there. But no reply from Timmy. So again, it's a lot of frauds out there. A lot of frauds. A lot of people just looking to get some fame and 5 minutes of fame and talk some shit. But it's unethical. Telling people that they can go and run a marathon in ketosis, and then when they can't, tell them that they're shit because they couldn't do it. Undisciplined. No one can do that. Do it fast. Do it their PR. No one can do that. No, you get the world's best runners and get them to do ketosis, they'll laugh at you. They'll laugh you out the fucking room. But they're all eating vegan foods, aren't they? The rice, the corn, the gels, the fruit, the sugar, soy milk, stuff like that. Rice milk now. They're all eating that. Take away their vegan food. They take away their pasta or potatoes or rice or corn or bananas, and they'll be like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Give me that vegan food back. They're all loading up on vegan food. Loading up on that food. The most important food for humans is the vegan foods, the carbohydrates. I'll say it again, the fruits, the rices, the pastas, those vegan staples that all the world champions, all the doped up athletes are guzzling down, guzzling down those vegan foods. Pasta, rice, fruit, corn, sugar, potatoes, vegan. High carb, low fat for the win. Do the experiment, test ride, then decide. Hopefully that's been informative. Hopefully it's helpful. If it's not, give it a thumbs down. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. We'll see you in more videos. Do the experiments before you come race day. Test out your shoes, test out your diet, test out your hydration, test everything out before race day, and then you'll understand what's going to happen. Thanks for watching.